Coach, a couple things. One, what's the status of Chad Dallas for this weekend? And then the second thing is, with all the challenges that you've gotten in pre-conference that you've talked about, has that limited your opportunity to maybe play more of the younger guys and give them opportunities because you're trying to win those games?
Yeah, it has. I wish you wouldn't have called me out on that. But it has. Now it's not to the fullest extent, because if you look at some of the things we've done, like the game at Charlotte, the game could have been a little closer, but we got some guys out there that hadn't had an opportunity to throw in a while. So while we still have done some things, and I think by the time conference play rolls around, we'll feel good about what we've done. The game has dictated that. Our record has dictated it. A little bit of it is maybe meaning to be more aggressive. And then some of it is when we give guys opportunities, we don't expect them to strike everybody out or get a bunch of hits. We just expect them to play as who they are. And what you've seen so far is we've played well because we've competed as a group. But if you break down a lot of individual efforts, there's plenty of guys that are a shell of themselves. And, some of them are trying to do well enough to, buy Rick Ross's house that was in Coming to America in one at bat or one inning pitched. And we don't need that. We just need them to be who they are. And, as far as your first question, Chad Dallas is good to go. I mentioned to you guys last week, a lot of times something's going on and you think maybe you're getting Bill Belichick, but, typically we don't try and hide anything. Just a little bit of soreness in a weird spot, like not an arm spot, just lower back. In a rib spot that needed to be worked out. So why not give him a week off, because we've got a long season ahead of us. So he'll start on Friday.
Tony, you just kind of answered the question that I had for you. I imagine you weren't very happy with the performance at Charlotte. What did you take away from that game? And do you think it was just kind of one of those days at the ballpark, or did you pick up on some things that maybe you're concerned with going forward?
Not necessarily concerned, some repetitive issues. We address those with the team. And, to make a long story short, if you're a Vol fan or Vol media, anybody, you don't want to lose 9-0. It looks bad. It seems bad. And there were some things I should have done a lot better as well. But at the end of the day, we came out of a game where we played a good opponent. We got some guys innings pitched. A couple guys out there, like I mentioned, hadn't been in there in a while. We got a freshman, his first ever career at bat, in Hunter Ensley, and got some other guys action too. And there were some real positives in that game, but there was also a lot of negatives. And so hopefully we learn from the negatives and take confidence in the positives.
All right, we'll go to John Wilson next and then Ryan.
As far as handling everything and I guess looking at everything that unfolded in Charlotte, what is the to-do list going into this last series before SEC play against Greensboro? And is there an area that has your greatest concern where you really want to see this team improve before you hit Athens, Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, to keep it simple, as far as the weekend competition goes, look at Greensboro's record. So our biggest thing is on Friday night to get in the fight. And we want to try and win the series. In college baseball, that's how your season is dictated or judged, is do you win weekend series? And it's awesome when you can sweep like we've done. It's also awesome when you can salvage a weekend, particularly in the SEC, with just a Sunday win. But ultimately, again, it's how many series can you win? And we have an opportunity to do that on our own field this weekend. So that's really where we're at. The minor injuries, the major injuries, the roles, some things are really starting to work themselves out. So I feel like we're settling in at the right time in SEC play. My only major concern is that we finish this non-conference schedule strong, again, in particular, because it's on our own field. And then the coaching staff, starting with me, just needs to, again, get our guys to be who they are. Not anything less, not anything more. And it's a pretty good roster. It's not the best roster in the SEC. I don't shy away from saying that. But we can beat anybody and we can play with anybody if each of the guys on that group just be who they are and trust the training that's been put in.
Coach, looks like we lost your video. I don't know if you can try to pull that back up real quick.
Okay.
No, we'll keep going without it, but
Let me see here.
there we go. Got you back. All right, perfect. All right, we'll go to Ryan now.
UNC-Greensboro's offense been pretty good this year. I think ranks top 25 in on-base percentage. Just what have you seen that's made them effective?
They're really aggressive. They're strong from top to bottom in the order, which is, I think, what we have the capability of being and have been in certain games. They're really aggressive on the bases, much like Vince was talking about our lineup changing and experimenting. We haven't been able to be as aggressive on the bases because of the way the games have unfolded. So we would like to be equally as aggressive as them and as strong from top to bottom. But they're a club that's done it, all year long, including beating the Charlotte team that we just lost to on Tuesday. So call it a formidable opponent or whatever you want, but this could be a deal where we're kind of looking at ourselves in the mirror a little bit. A scrappy bunch, the offensive things I mentioned, and then a pitching staff that throws strikes. The strike throwing numbers are on par with ours if you check them.
All right, we'll go to Gustavo next and then back to Vince.
Coach, you talk about looking in the mirror, and then you have the series against UNC-Greensboro, then you have ETSU, I think, before SEC schedule starts. So how do you approach these games, and how much do you want to improve your team so you guys can be ready for SEC schedule?
I think at this point, we want to get the pitching in line. And that's no disrespect to those opponents. Again, Greensboro's got a better record than we do. And I don't know ETSU's, but that's always a good battle against those guys. But we need to get our pitching in order where everybody's fresh, but also everyone's gotten some work in. The way we want to use our pitchers is kind of lined up. And then as far as the offense goes, we just want to make sure we're implementing some things, as far as skill work or being able to move runners, establish roles a little bit, maybe establish who a pinch runner is and things like that prior to that series. So guys are comfortable in what's going to be asked of them in that first SEC series. Make no bones about it. These games are all valuable if you're talking about playing in the postseason. So again, the real answer is just getting the fight one game at a time in these next four. But up in the office, we do have to have some strategy, and that's a simple one, but that's it.
Tony, you had mentioned that Rackers had just a little bit of a minor setback. How close is he to being able to get back out there for you?
Yeah, he'll bullpen again today. I mean, it's one of those things. If we wanted to force the issue, he could be pitching in the game on Friday, but the time of year doesn't dictate that we need to put the pedal to the metal. So he'll throw another bullpen and solidify that he's good to go. Will Mabry's a guy that, just because I haven't mentioned it, it's kind of gone unnoticed, but he's a good left-handed arm for us. Looks really good in his first outing, but hasn't been available since. He had a similar just kind of soreness or being cautious. So that's kind of what I'm alluding to when I'm saying we just want to get everybody available and lined up and ready for all cannons to fire before we start conference play.
So Blade Saturday and then TBD for Sunday?
No, we will actually go with Will Heflin on Saturday and Blade will throw on Sunday. So we'll go right, left, right, and we'll carry that out as long as we see fit.
All right, we'll go back to John to finish things off.
Coach, you mentioned already, it is a long season, haven't gotten to conference play, and Jordan Beck got off to such a great start. It's been a struggle for him of late. You mentioned that he's putting in extra time just to pull out of it with the work that he's doing after practice with Josh Elander. And I'm just wondering, from your vantage point, how do you help a player through a stretch like he's experiencing right now?
Go to the index card theory or the business card theory. What can you write on there that you want to do better, and just do that. Literally, and this is actually a credit to Jordan. He spoke with one of our coaches about what he was trying to do in one at bat, and he listed off like 11 things, and I'm not kidding. So again, I made the Rick Ross joke, but really what I'm getting at is the common problem in baseball, trying to do too many things or trying to do too much. If you're trying to do too many things and do too much with all those things, that's a huge deal. And that's how a kid as talented as him, it slips into a little bit of a deal where he's not being himself. And, he came up to the office. I pointed out one thing that I think was maybe one or two sentences. And I don't think that's the solution to solve all problems, but I think this is a deal where actually a kid doing less could really help himself, because no one puts in more time in the video room, in the cage, on the field with Coach E. and thinking his way through at bats. But sometimes just getting down to one simple thing can turn you back in the right direction.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Okay, you bet. Thank you, guys.